And today we are going to start the Hindu 8th July 2021 news analysis. So we are going to the articles to be discussed. So first article is about challenging negative social norms. Second article is only traditional food items to be served as a Assam government events. Third, darkness at noon faded by the judiciary. Fourth article is about new platform map Pegasus spread. Fifth article is about judges rescues from hearing Mamta election petition. Sixth is about mega ship head out of Suez after the Egypt deal. Seventh is about gasp. Bangalore sees 90% spike of NO2 pollution in a year. Eight is indemnity issues hold up US vaccine donations. Then last May we will do the practice prelim practice question and mains practice question. So the challenges, what is the challenges? Negative social norms. The syllabus related to this article is you can find in a question in prelim and mains examination in GS paper 2 under the issues related to the development and management of social sector service relating to health, education, human resources. So the article is that India total fertility rate is 2.2 now. Okay, and the replacement rate, what is that? A replacement rate 2.1. Okay, so TFR, the total number of children that would be born to each woman if live to the end of her childbearing years, that is ideal TFR. Total fertility rate is 2.1. The lower TFR population is declining, greater than 2.1 population is growing. Population memorandums, a relative youthful age structure in the population promotes a more rapid growth because of the birth being produced by a relatively larger number of people of reproductive age, even if the fertility of the average woman stand at the replacement levels. India's success in population control, progressive policies for maternal health, improve rates of institutional deliveries, declines in a maternal mortality rate for from 327 in 1999 2001 to 113 per 1 lakh live births in 2016-18. Sample registrations systems SRS data, including increasing use of contraceptive. National Health Family Survey 5 from the year 2019 to 2020 and 20 contraceptive prevalence has improved in most states. Social initiatives Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao has made some efforts to challenge the existing social norms. Where India lags behind United pregnancies. Studies by the Gutmachi Institute 2021, 2 million adolescents girls in the 15-19 years of age each year has had a pregnancy. Nearly 63% were unwanted or unintended. NFHS, that is 22.2% had unmet need for contraception. son among the girls aged 15 to 19 years. Early marriage: 26.8% of the women aged 20 to 24 years were married before they turned 18. First child within the first year of the marriage. Gender violence: women faces gender-based violence and harmful practice socially permitted women in denying the freedom over her own bodies. हेल्थ सिस्टम्स जो कि बैरियर होता है. रूरल एरिया हैव वेरी लिटिल एक्सेस टू द रिप्रोडक्टिव health and knowledge. Problems is social, that is gender bias. World Economic Forum WF Global Gender Gap Report 2021 report that India rank 140th out of 156 countries, lived 28th place, that is third worst performers in the South Asia. Conclusion is that social and cultural problem policy should take the social factors into consideration, especially for the reproductive rights of the women. अब इससे रिलेटेड जीएस पेपर 1 में and जीएस पेपर 2 में there will be the question that in order to seize the opportunity present to it by the demography, India has to undergo significant social retailoring in the realms of gender autonomy. Comment. The next article is about the only traditional food items to be served in Assam government event. State cabinets of the Assam decided traditional food items only to be served at the government programs in Assam. Make use of hand woven gamcha as government programs. Vocal for local initiatives. Hand woven gamcha, that is unique identity of the Assam societies. Assam's traditional hand two types had two types, the uka or plain kind to wipe sweat or dry the body after bath, the poolam, that is decorated with a floral motif, gift as a memento or during festivals. Wearing the poolam gamcho around the neck is standard for the cultural identity. Threat: cheap machine-made gamcha from the Gujarat and Tamil Nadu. To protect the handlooms, weavers of Assam's sales of machine-made gamcha was prohibited. Handlooms represent the articles for Productions Act 1985 provides for the reservations of certain articles for exclusive productions by handlooms, prohibits the production of articles exclusively reserves for handlooms by any other means. Central government power to summon information samples of the textile articles, inspects the size, then it forms to the various violate the law orders from the ministry and the textiles subsections in the act reserve 11 classes of articles. Saris, dhoti, towel and gamcha, ganvastra, lungi, bedsheet, doris and panik. अब इससे रिलेटेड एक क्वेश्चन है वो पूछा जा सकता है प्रीलिम में, that considers the following statement with reference to the gamcha recently seen in the news. Gamcha is फूड स्टॉप रिप्रेजेंटेड द यूनिक आइडेंटिटी ऑफ गुजराती सोसाइटी। नहीं, फूड स्टॉप नहीं है, ये एक तरह का हैंडलूम क्लॉथ है, ठीक है, दैट रिप्रेजेंट द असम सोसाइटी। In 2020, it has been issued a geographical indication tag by the geographical indication registry। नहीं, अभी तक geographical indication tag नहीं मिला, तो करेक्ट पूछ रहा था डी हो जाएगा, नहीं तो नॉट ट्रू। नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल इज अबाउट darkness at noon felled by the judiciary। So is the prelim syllabus related to the prelims and mains is given below, that in the GS paper 2 it can be asked under the function of the executive and the judiciary, government policy and intervention for development in a various sector and issues arising out of these design and implementations। So Unlawful Activities Prevention Act UAPA जो कि enacted in 1967 propose provide for a more effective prevention on a certain unlawful activities of individuals and associations deals with prevention of terrorist activities and related matters। Power of a central government, it declare unlawful to impose all India bans on association। That Unlawful Activity Prevention Act UAPA, Unlawful Activity Prevention Act, ठीक है। Unlawful Activities Prevention Act 1967 definitions क्या है? In this act, unless the context otherwise requires, unlawful activities is related to the individual or the association means any action that by such individual or associations which is intended or support or any claims to bring about on any ground whatsoever the cession of a parts of the territories of India or a cessions of part of territories of India from the Union, or which incites any individual or group of individual to bring about such a cession of sections which disclaims questions disrupts or intended to disrupt sovereignties and territories and integrity of the India, which cause or intended to cause disaffections against India, can declare a person or a organization as a terrorist or terrorist organization if participating in act of terrorism, perhaps for terrorism, promotes terrorism or otherwise involves in a terrorism activities। Investigations of a cause, state police and national investigation agencies। Issues of UAPA Act does not define terrorism। Definition of unlawful activities covers almost every kind of violent acts. No objective of categorizations of an individuals as a terrorist does not provide any opportunity of individuals to justify the cases before the arrest। Informations declaring a person's or terrorist can be withheld for 6 month 6 month तक withheld कर सकते हैं, ठीक है। Those arrest can be imprisoned up to the 180 days ठीक है। 180 days means that 3 6 month without filing the चार्जशीट के बिना भी उसको 106 मंथ तक अरेस्ट करके रख सकते हैं, ठीक है। अनलॉफुल एक्टिविटी प्रिवेंशन एक्ट, यूनियन होम मिनिस्टर डेटा in 2016 and 2019, only 2.2% of the cases registered under the UAPF result in a conviction. Watali judgment. अब इसमें मतलब कि with this claim question disrupt of intended to disrupt the sovereignty and territorial integrity of India, which cause or intend to cause disaffection against India, which is intended to support any claim or bring about and around whatever so sees party of the cessions of the part of the territory of India or a cession of a part of territory of India from the union, or which incites any individual or a group of individual to bring about such cession or cessions, ठीक है। वटाली जजमेंट में क्या बोला गया था कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट इंटरप्शंस ऑफ यूएपीए affects all later judgments involving UAPF, unlawful activities prevention act. Accused remain in custody throughout the trials, even if evidence produced against the accused is invalid. Essentially executives the admissibilities of evidence at the stage of bail. Bail application court must presume that every allegation made in the FIR is correct. Bail obtained only if the accused produced material to contradict the prosecution's burdens of proof rest on the accused. Precedent used by the High Court to unavoidably refuse bail. Author denied of a bail for activist Stan Swami systems abuse of majoritarian authorities disregards of the rule of law. Way forward regarding the judicial precedents, High Court should also examine, interpret and validate the constitutional laws. अब इससे रिलेटेड मेंस में क्वेश्चन जीएस पेपर 2 में क्वेश्चन पूछ सकता है कि डू यू एग्री दैट अनलॉफुल एक्टिविटीज प्रिवेंशन अमेंडमेंट एक्ट कुड प्रूव डिस्टोर्स फॉर फंडामेंटल राइट्स एनालाइज बाय सब्सटेंशियल with a recent dismissal or a bail provision. Next article is about new platform Pegasus spread. News that Pegasus database, online database spyware Pegasus use launch for forensic architectures. Amnesty International of Citizen Lab documents attached of spyware against human right defenders. Spyware, a type of malware programs or a file designed to disrupt, damage and gain unauthorized access to the computer systems. Software installed on a computing device without the end user knowledge or consents gathers information from the infected system and send it to the another entity without the use of user consents. ठीक है. Pegasus spyware. Pegasus program allow the controllers access to the infected smartphones, microphones, camera, messages, emails, and location data, affecting both Android and iOS device developed by the NSO group technology. ठीक है. इससे रिलेटेड एक प्रीलिमिनरी क्वेश्चन पूछ सकता है कि विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज द बेस्ट डिस्क्रिप्शन ऑफ पैकेजेस दैट वाज इन द न्यूज़ रिसेंटली. तो सी हो जाएगा स्पाईवेयर मिलिशियस प्रोग्राम. नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल अबाउट द जजेस रिक्यूज्ड फॉर हियरिंग ममता इलेक्शन पिटिशन. Recusal of judges or judicial disqualifications. Practice of judges to step down from being a judge of a case. Recuses मतलब कि जज स्टेप डाउन हो जाएगा उस केस के जज होने से. नो मैन कैन बी अ जज ऑफ हिज ओन केस. On instance of a conflict of interest, example can be the holding share in a company that is party to the case. Can be the prior or personal association with a party involved in the case. Appeal filed in the Supreme Court against the judgment of a High Court that may have been decided by the Supreme Court judge when he or she was in the High Court. Decision to rescue. Reset on the rest on the conscience and the discretion of the judge. Lawyer or parties also bring in up before the judge. Not mandatory for the judge to recuse. On recusal case is listed before the Chief Justice for allotments to the fresh bench. Judge can recuse even if no conflict of interest exists. Cases where the judges has refused withdrawal from the cases. Example 2019 Justice Arun Misra refused to recuse himself from a constitutional bench set up to re-examine the judgment he has delivered previously. No formal rule governing the recusal process. Judges need not record reason for recusals. Judicial recusal implications. Ethical conflict of interest, personal and professional interest may comes into the direct conflict. ठीक है. अब इससे रिलेटेड एक क्वेश्चन देख लो जीएस पेपर 2 में कि व्हाट इज अ जुडिशियल डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन. discuss in the reference of a recent development and implications. Next article is about the mega ship headed out of Suez after the Egypt deals. The Suez Canal, human-made artificial sea levels waterways run north to south across the isthmus of Suez of Egypt, connecting Mediterranean Sea and the Red Sea. Separate the African continents from the Asia, provide shortest maritime routes, most heavily used shipping lanes, one of the most important waterways in the world. Fastest cross from the Atlantic Oceans to the Indian Ocean. देखो ये सुएज कैनाल है, ठीक है। सुएज कैनाल में कुछ लेक है, जैसे ग्रेट बिटर लेक, लिटिल बिटर लेक, ओके, एंड वन इस्माइलिया लेक भी है, ठीक है, छोटा सा। ठीक है, तो फीचर क्या है, स्ट्रेट लेंथ एंड 8 मेजर बेंड्स, ठीक है, 8 मेजर बेंड्स है। वेस्ट लो लाइन डेल्टा ऑफ नाइल रिवर्स, ईस्ट हाई रिजिड्स एंड एरिड सेनाइड पेनिसुला। Toll paid by the vessels, important source of the income for the Egyptian government. 3 shallow water lake, that Lake Manjala, Lake Timsa, and Little Bitter Lake, ठीक है। Before the construction of Suez Canal, the Bitter Lakes shall be the hypersaline inland lakes, ठीक है। After Suez Canals increase the size of the Bitter Lakes, decrease the salinities. Construction in 1859 to 1869 में कंस्ट्रक्शन हुआ, ठीक है, 10 साल में। Egypt in a partnership with the French Suez Canal Company, complete control under the Egyptian government through the Suez Canal authorities, ठीक है। अब इससे रिलेटेड एक क्वेश्चन देख लो कि consider the following statement with reference to the Suez Canal. It is the shortest maritime routes from Americas to Oceania. नहीं, गलत है, अमेरिका तो ओशियाना नहीं है, इस्तमस तो पनामा के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं। The toll paid by the passing vessels represent an important source of the income for the Egyptian government, बिल्कुल सही है। The government of India frame 4-point plans to deal with the Suez Canal blockage, बिल्कुल सही है। तो इनकरेक्ट पूछ रहा है तो 1 हो जाएगा इनकरेक्ट, ठीक है। अब गैस पर, जो कि बेंगलोर सी 90% स्पाइक इन NO2 पोल्यूशंस इन ईयर। ग्रीन पीस इंडिया रिपोर्ट, देखो ग्रीन पीस के इंडिया रिपोर्ट के द्वारा एक रिपोर्ट निकाला गया, ग्रीन पीस इंडिया रिपोर्ट, जो कि नाइट्रोजन डाइऑक्साइड पोल्यूशन इंक्रीज इन ऑलमोस्ट ऑल 8 मोस्ट पॉपुलस स्टेट कैपिटल इन इंडिया, ठीक है। मुंबई, दिल्ली, बेंगलुरु, चेन्नई, कोलकाता, जयपुर। Delhi most dramatic increase of NO2 levels between April 2020 to April 2021. NO2 dangerous air pollutant है, ठीक है। Fuel combustion of the motor vehicle and the power generation and industrial process severely impacted the people health at all ages, affecting respiratory and circulatory systems, caused brain damage, increased hospital admissions and mortalities. Evidence polluted cities have suffered disproportionately more coronavirus cases. वे फॉरवर्ड क्या है कि इकोनॉमिक रिकवरी नॉट एट द एक्सपेंस ऑफ द एयर क्वालिटी, इनिशिएट्स द transition from the privately owned vehicles to an efficient, clean and safe public transport systems. इससे रिलेटेड एक क्वेश्चन देख लो कि कंसीडर द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट, नाइट्रोजन डाइऑक्साइड इज इमिटेड ड्यूरिंग द फॉसिल फ्यूल कंबशन ऑफ अ मोटर व्हीकल, बिल्कुल सही है। नाइट्रोजन डाइऑक्साइड इनहेलेशंस कैन कॉज द रेस्पिरेटरी एंड सर्कुलेटरी सिस्टम्स ऑफ ह्यूमंस, बिल्कुल सही है, तो सी हो जाएगा आंसर। नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल इज अबाउट द इंडेमनिटी इशूज होल्ड अप द US वैक्सीन donations. Indemnity is what? The securing against the hurt, loss and damage. Exemption from incurred penalties or liabilities, waivers of liabilities. India not ready to give indemnity. US has already disrupted 40 million 12 distributed 40 million 12 countries including Pakistan and Bangladesh. Log jam. India is reviewing the legal provision and consequence before giving the indemnity. Companies unaccountable mishaps and side effects. Other vaccine makers would also demand करेगा. जाहिर सी बात है. US companies wanted the indemnity reasons. Lots of infrastructure lapse in India. Cold chain and transportation problems. Way forward क्या है? Find a way to import vaccine without affecting the accountabilities. Right balance to be found. Presented diplomatic talks. इससे रिलेटेड जीएस पेपर 2 में क्वेश्चन पूछ सकता है. व्हाट इज इंडेमनिटी फॉर द वैक्सीन मेकर्स? एक्सप्लेन हाउ it waivers will impact the COVID-19 vaccine process in India. ठीक है. अब प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चन में आ जाते हैं. तो प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चन गोमछा जो कि एक हैंडलूम है असम का और इसको जीआई टैग अभी तक नहीं मिला है. डी आंसर हो जाएगा. ये नाइट्रोजन डाइऑक्साइड फॉसिल फ्यूल व्हीकल से इमिट होता है. बिल्कुल सही है. फिर नाइट्रोजन इनहेलेशन कैन अफेक्ट द रेस्पिरेटरी से. बिल्कुल सही है. सी आंसर हो जाएगा. पेगासस स्पाइवेरा सी आंसर हो जाएगा. फिर उसके बाद स्वेज कनाल जो कि मेडिटेरियन और रेड सी को जोड़ता है. ये पहला वाला स्टेटमेंट गलत है. टोल ये लेता है. इजिप्शियन गवर्नमेंट का मेजर पार्ट है रेवेन्यू का. गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया हैज़ अ 4-point प्लान टू डील विद द स्वेज कैनाल ब्लॉकेज. बिल्कुल सही है. इनकरेक्ट पूछ रहा था. ये आंसर हो जाएगा. अब 4 पॉइंट क्या क्या है? तो प्रायोरिटाइजेशन ऑफ कार्गो, फ्रिजिट रेट को तय करना, एडवाइजरी टू द पोर्ट को एडवाइजरी देना, री रूटिंग द शिप. ठीक है. 4 मेंस का क्वेश्चन देख लेते हैं. What is a judicial disqualification? Discuss in the reference of the recent development and its implementations. What is the next question है? What is the indemnity for vaccine makers? Explain how its waivers will impact the COVID-19 vaccine process in India. Then next question है, do you agree that Unlawful Activity Prevention Act could prove disastrous for fundamental rights? Analyze by substance, stating with a recent dismissal of a bail provision. Then next question है, about in order to seize the opportunity present to it by the demography, India has to undergo significant social retailoring in the realms of gender autonomy commons. ठीक है. Please like, subscribe and share.